In this lesson, we're going to be talking about assigning and editing materials. So the first thing you're going to want to do when you're ready to start assigning materials is go ahead and open up the library. Remember, this is where your assets are stored. So let's go ahead and open up the library, and we'll go to the materials window. And if we look at this car, it has basically a red accent theme. So let's change that up a little bit. Let's go with a different color, and we'll work on giving this car a little bit different look. So I'll start by going to the metals, and let's go ahead and find a nice anodized here. And I think from this red theme, let's go ahead and go with a more green style theme. So I'll grab this anodized brushed green and drag and drop it onto the model. And when you are assigning materials, KeyShot will give you a preview of where this material is going to be assigned, and it won't actually assign it until you let go of the left mouse. So assigning materials is as simple as dragging and dropping an element out of the library onto your model. Okay, now using my camera controls, what I'm going to go ahead and do here is zoom in on this area. And also I want to change my look at point. So I'm going to do that by pressing Control Alt and right click. If you're on the Mac, that's going to be Command Alt and right click. And that's going to allow me to quickly navigate to this area of the model so I can work on it. Now if I am happy with this material, what I can do is I can press Shift left click and Shift right to paste it to a surrounding area. Okay, now if I open up the project window and go to the materials tab, what I have here is my in-project library. And what this shows is all the materials that are currently being used in the scene. So what I've done is I've copied and pasted this one anodized brush onto a surrounding part. And if I select this anodized brush material, I can change the color of that. And I selected it by double clicking on it, and that pulls up the parameters. And notice the material change that I make is shown here in the in-project library. So you can see what's happening there. So moving on, let's go ahead and continue to work with this model and change the theme up a little bit. So I'll zoom out. And another thing I want to point out here, a very efficient way to work inside KeyShot is by entering performance mode. You can do so by pressing Alt-P or Option-P on the Mac. And what this is going to do is automatically reduce your quality settings and allow you to move your camera around and navigate your scene faster. Okay, so I already have this material assigned on this part. I really like the look of it, and I'm ready to assign it to another area. So again, I can press Shift left click and Shift right to paste, and that pastes it. You can also continue to drag and drop an item out of the library, the in-project library, and assign it to your model using that method. Now, one really important thing to understand is if I pull another anodized brush out of the library, not the in-project library, what I'm doing is I'm creating another copy of that material in the in-project library. So any part that has this material assigned will take on those adjustments. So here's the part where I dragged my copy out onto, and notice when I changed that color to blue, this part wasn't affected. Again, that's because I had a new copy placed in the in-project library, and so it's separate from these other parts. If I want to get all these parts on the same page, I can drag and drop the other anodized brush onto this part, and now if I make changes to that material, they're all affected. Okay, so moving on, let's go ahead and go to Paint and I'll select glossy paint, and let's go to one of the energetic ones. So I'll drag and drop this green paint onto the model, and I'm happy with this one. So again, I'll press Shift left click, Shift right to paste. And so once you have a material copied, it's very easy to just move around the model and hold Shift and press right click to get all your materials assigned. Okay, almost got them all assigned here. And looks like one more red part that I'd like to go ahead and get this green assigned to. Okay, so first thing I'm noticing is that the greens are two slightly different colors. So I can go about fixing that by opening up the in-project material library. So we'll go to the project window, and here's the paint that we assigned from the library. So I can also pull up the parameters by double clicking on it, and if I click on the color, what we can do is start to change this color so that it more closely matches the green that we have assigned. Okay, so now that I've done all my material assignments, I still am in performance mode, so the quality settings are reduced. You'll notice there's no ground shadow here, and some other settings have been reduced to improve performance. I also know I'm in performance mode by this icon in the upper right corner. So if I press Alt-P, that will remove us from performance mode. Your quality settings come back, and you can view your model in the highest quality real-time view that you can achieve. So that's a quick look at assigning and editing materials.